Hello, thank you for joining us on Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguele. Mrs. D. Esther Wilson Jack has been sworn in as the new head of the Civil Service of the Federation. The ceremony was before the commencement of the Federal Executive Council meeting under the chairmanship of President Bola Tinubu this Monday. State House correspondent Musbahu Wahab reports that Mrs. Didi Wilson Jack took over from Mrs. Folashade Yemieson, who proceeds on retirement from civil service after 5 years in the top civil service position.
One thing I have done is to put in my best into the service.
For Folashade Yemieson in the Federal Civil Service, and in the last moments in the council chambers in this capacity, Mrs. Yemieson literally saw herself in a mirror. The council members, through the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, extolled the virtues of Mrs. Yemieson as a public servant, which they believe have fostered transparency, efficiency and accountability in the Federal Civil Service.
One of her most significant achievements has been the implementation of the Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan 2021 to 2025, which is focused on capacity building and talent management, performance management system, arts, human resource, innovation, digitization, content services, and staff welfare.
These attributes have also won a place in the mind of the president, who acknowledged the diligence of the outgone head of civil service and what he described as big shoes for the incoming #1 federal civil servants.
We must learn from her more of commitment to duty, loyalty, and great vision. She served our nation exceptionally well with distinction, guiding the civil service through significant transformation and reform.
As big as the shoes may be, Didi Esther Wilson Jack was set to step in anyways. Another thoroughbred administrator herself, Wilson Jack, who transferred her service from Bayelsa State Civil Service, had served as Federal Permanent Secretary in different ministries including Niger Delta and Education.
God will continue to guide you, provide you with the wisdom, and enhance your integrity to serve this country and the civil service in the most transparent and successful manner.
I'm looking forward to building on the existing reforms in a way that will bring in innovation and creativity so that the civil service bureaucracy can be more effective and more efficient to deliver on the renewed hope agenda.
Didi Esther Wilson Jack, born in 1966 from Bayelsa State, is now the 21st head of civil service of the Federation and 5th woman in this capacity. From the State House, Musbahu Wahab, NTA News.
Following the marching order to troops by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, in line with presidential directive to the military to secure pipelines in the Niger Delta, troops have destroyed 58 illegal refining sites. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa had an exclusive visit to Bayelsa and Rivers State and brings us this report.
In the heart of Africa's oil industry, Nigeria's exploration sites have for decades been under constant threat from oil theft and pipeline vandalism. This illicit activity is not only economic sabotage, but also impacts negatively on the environment. This over 35,000-litre cooking oven used for the illegal refining of petroleum products. It was discovered by the military along the Imo River. Criminal syndicates siphon crude oil illegally, causing massive losses for the government and oil companies. To combat this threat, the Nigerian military and other security agencies, in line with the Chief of Defense Staff's directives, adopted drastic measures to protect the country's valuable natural resources.
As at yesterday, we have discovered over 22 illegal connections. We have destroyed over 58 illegal refineries. We have handled upward of 500,000 liters of crude oil and illegally refined products.
These renewed operations include enhanced surveillance, intelligence gathering, and coordinated raids on oil bunkering sites.
More enlightenment to community, the benefit they attend to are, accruable to them. Because if do not understand that through that mechanism, they'll be able to be accommodated, they will continue to engage with the saboteurs that engage in, breaching our pipelines.
The fight against oil theft is obscured, while measures need to be adopted to curb the alleged smuggling in the offshore.
This is one of the recently vandalized pipes along the flow line in Amoma local government area in Rivers State. And here are products siphoned from the line. From Amoma in Rivers State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And still talking security, the role of human factors is critical in the effective utilization of air assets to combat internal security threats. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa again reports that this informed the decision to develop the capacity of Nigerian Army aviation operators for optimal performance in times of emergency.
In the modern warfare, air assets are critical in ensuring rapid response to security threats.
Aviation profession operates in an environment where precision.
To this end, the Nigerian Army is developing its aviation professionals to operate in line with global best practices, with emphasis on improving human performance and behavior during emergency response.
Understanding how stress, fatigue, communication, and teamwork impact decision-making during emergencies is crucial. It is this understanding that will enable us to refine our procedures, train our personnel more efficiently, and ultimately ensure the highest standard of safety.
This workshop is just one of those training activities that is aimed to build the capacity of all those who operate in Nigerian Army aviation, from the pilots to the engineers to the ground traffic controllers and all other personnel here. So this training will actually build their capacity, and at the end of the day, we'll see better outputs.
The workshop will also boost operational synergy among the different components of the armed forces. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Right, and information just reaching us says right now at the presidential villa, the president, talking about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is receiving some high-capacity compressed natural gas buses there at the State House. Of course, you know, the federal government has stated commitment to ease transportation following the removal of fuel subsidy. So this is happening right now. So let's join our correspondent live, Musbahu Dan Wahab, who is standing by. Of course, we can see him with the Minister of Information and National Orientation there. Musbahu, please go ahead and tell us the latest there.
Thank you so much, Ruth. It has just taken place. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has just taken the delivery of 20 CNG-powered high-capacity buses here at the State House. It just took place immediately after the meeting of the Federal Executive Council for today. And now let's just talk to the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, and this is a very landmark achievement. Honorable Minister, thank you so much for joining us. Okay, this seems like a promise made and promised kept. So what do you say to this delivery of buses to the President?
Indeed, this is a promise that has been kept once again by the President. I recall that year 2023, last year, the President has promised that Nigeria is going to transit gradually from the fossil fuels to renewable energy. In this case, the CNG. So what we are seeing today is the receipt of about 20 high-capacity buses, 100 seats. Donated by independent partners to the president. The president imposed the delivery of this issue of that the president is also big. And all that Abuja has been dealing with all sorts of big buses, not just the buses themselves, section of the traffic centers, the delivery of production, for instance, 30,000 conversions especially commercial vehicle operators in this country. This will in no way, by no means is a major leap towards enhancement of the CNG Nigerians are going to pay less for transportation now, but not just that. We're also going to have an environment that is cleaner, that is healthier, and is good for all of us. So it's a happy day for all of us here in Abuja. Immediately after the conclusion of the aviation council, the first company of members of cabinet took the review of this. This is a complementary effort to the effort that has been done by the government to ensure that Nigerians have CNG buses flying all over our roads.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Like I told you, the Federal Executive Council meeting has just ended, and now we need to allow the Minister chair the briefing after the meeting. Honorable Minister, you can make your way. Thank you so much. Now, these 20 buses are just part of the buses coming the way of right.
Okay, that's our State House correspondent there, Musbahu Dan Wahab, giving us insight what's happening right now. Just immediately after the Federal Executive Council, we saw the arrival of the CNG buses. All right, we turn to other issues. The Defense Industries Corporation Act 2023 has the potential to contribute to Nigeria's national development and security by boosting foreign exchange through local production of defense equipment. Minister of State for Defense, Bello Mohammed Matawali, stated this at a news conference in Abuja as part of activities to mark the Defense Industries Corporation's 60th anniversary.
The Ministry of Defense have been going up and down to ensure that DACON will stand on its feet and to ensure the capacity and the capability of DACON so that we can be able to produce our own armament. Many countries, many African countries now are coming to DACON for the procurement of their arms and ammunition. We assure you that we have that capacity, we have the capability to produce arms and ammunition.
More effort is put in to ensure that our local manufacturers actually reap benefit of their investment. It is in our interest because they also create employment and reduce dependence and stress on the foreign exchange.
So when we look at a typical soldier from head to toe, everything he's using, both what he's putting on himself and what he's using to prosecute operations, is what DICON is currently producing. The ones we are not actually producing now, we are making arrangements to produce them.
Bello Mohammed notes that since the establishment of DICON, that was in 1964, it has been committed to the production and repair of military hardware. Don't forget today's International Youth Day, and Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas restates the commitment of the Green Chamber towards empowering young Nigerians as the world marks this significant day for young people. Speaker Abbas, while congratulating Nigerian youth on this day, says the 10th House under his leadership has prioritized youth-oriented legislation and will continue to give issues affecting the Nigerian youths the utmost attention they deserve. The Speaker urges the youths to remain patriotic, law-abiding, and optimistic about Nigeria's progress and economic development. The International Youth Day is an awareness day designated by the United Nations that takes place August 12. The purpose of the day is to draw attention to a given set of cultural and legal issues surrounding youth. In Nigeria, the awareness is strong for more inclusion of the 151 million youth in the nation's decision-making process and empower them for self-sustenance. Andrew Abu, a youth activist, draws attention to the need for the youth to also become more involved in leadership at all levels. That was earlier during Panorama at 12 noon. Let's see that excerpt.
have a lot of Nigerians that can afford to put data on their phone. People are seeing how they can make the best out of what they can get from technology. And I mean, there are a lot of online marketing and online sales that happens within that technological space, and a lot of people are cashing in on it, because at the end of the day, if you feel that you don't have what you can invest in, or you don't have the capital to have something on ground, I mean, there are opportunities that are out there for people to be able to leverage on when it comes to technology.
All right, that was the youth activists there we had on Panorama earlier today. And don't forget the theme, Click to Progress. I'm talking about engaging youths digitally for sustainable development. We turn to other issues. As per medical requirement, tiny numbers are usually scribbled at the side or bottom of packages of manufactured drugs, indicating the duration of their potency. How important are these numbers, often called expiry date, to your health? Well, in this report, Hingino John Adams tells us more reasons why expired drugs should be avoided.
Drugs are mostly produced with one broad objective, and that is to bring healing to ailing bodies. However, they can only be potent when used correctly and at the right time. Apart from following doctors' prescriptions, checking the expiry dates for such medications is equally important, as taking expired drugs can come with irredeemable consequences. In an environment where the brand or manufacturer's name and price tags on drugs tend to grab attention of potential buyers, the question is, do Nigerians really bother to check the expiry dates of drugs before purchasing or consuming them?
Not really. Honestly, sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't.
I've seen bad experiences from my friends who have gone through a lot because of bad drugs. Well, I don't.
Experts say, in some cases, certain drugs may still remain potent even after exceeding their shelf life. The potency of such drugs can only be determined when they are subjected to laboratory tests. In such cases, there is a caveat. Such drugs, they say, should be avoided.
The product has degraded to the level that is harmful. There is issue of toxicity, especially when there is the chemical composition has been degraded to a level that is a different molecule. It's a different product. It can change the color.
With intensive campaigns on dangers of using expired drugs, it is believed that many lives will be saved. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
And talking about that campaign, to raise awareness on the need for people to be more conscious, of taking note of expiry date, we join our correspondent now, Hingino John Adams, who is standing by in Lagos to give us more details as regards the kind of awareness that is being carried out from her end. Hingino, please go ahead.
Thank you, Ruth. From my report, you know that while some Nigerians take the issue of checking the date of expiry dates of drugs seriously, some don't care. They just walk into pharmaceutical stores, pick what they want to pick, and just use it without checking whether it has expired or not. And that is what some of the experts I discussed with are discouraging. They said that you should be able to take your health in your hands. You should be responsible for your health. For example, in one of the southwestern states recently, a family accused a particular health facility of contributing to the death of their mother. They alleged that they took the mother to the hospital, and some days into treatment, they discovered that some of the drugs and injectables administered on the mother had expired. So sadly, few days into treatment, the woman died. That is what the experts are trying to avoid. So they are saying that you should learn to check the expiry dates of injectables and drugs that you are being given. And in some hospitals, when you go, there are some unbranded drugs that are being administered. They said as a patient, you have the right to ask the staff there to show you the expiry date before using. And I also spoke with some NAFDAC officials who told me that NAFDAC has a department that takes care of issues like this. That is the enforcement department. They inspect pharmaceutical stores, health facilities that administer drugs or sell drugs to patients. And when they are going, they don't announce so that the aim of their inspection is not defeated. And they promise to continue to come down hard on pharmaceutical stores and health facilities that are found wanting. And Lagos State government is also complementing NAFDAC's effort through the Ministry of Health under Pharmaceutical Inspection Department. In that department, there is this task force on counterfeit, fake drugs, and unwholesome foods. Staff of that unit go out from time to time to inspect, and whenever they get fake drugs or substandard drugs, they come hard on them. Ruth?
You know, you've just broken it down for us because this sensitization has to be radical. Lives are involved. And, you know, sometimes when a situation is so dire, sometimes people just get carried away. They don't look at the expiry date because they just want to administer that drug to that patient. So it's a very serious matter. Thank you so much, Hengino, for that update. Thank you. All right. And from outside the studio, we're heading straight into the studio, still staying with Lagos. Let's join Adeola for more reports from her end. For more reports from her end.
Thank you, Ruth, and welcome to the studio in Lagos. West African Examination Council WAEC has released 1,685,889 candidates' results out of 205,216 that sat for the May June examination in over 25,000 schools across the Federation. Larry Belay was at WAEC earlier and filed in this report.
Who have fulfilled their financial obligations to the Council can access their results on the Council's results website.
Head of Nigerian National Office of WAEC, Dr. Amos Danguit, while briefing the press about the examination which spanned a period of 7 weeks and 6 days from April 30 to June 24, 2024, said a total of 1,814,736 candidates registered for the examination, while 1,805,216 candidates wrote the examinations. The breakdown reveals that 1,685,889 candidates, representing 93.39%, have their results fully processed and released, while 119,397 candidates, representing 6.61%, have one or more of their subjects still being resolved. On schools charging parents and wards before collecting of certificate, a trend that has continued to baffle parents, WAEC stated categorically that the body is not part of it.
WAEC does not and has not asked schools to charge fees for collection of certificates. So we are making this public that we don't and we have not asked schools to collect fees for collection of certificates from candidates. So if candidates and parents are aware of this, I think the ball is in their court.
The examination body also reveals that results of candidates sponsored by state government who are yet to meet the financial requirements will not be released. In Lagos, Lanre Bileyi, NTA News.
Nigeria must take advantage of the ever-changing digital technologies to find lasting solutions to challenges in the country and create a better future for her citizenry. This is the message of this year's International Youth Day as the world seeks to amplify contributions of young people who are making positive changes. Amaka Owo reports.
Is reshaping the world of today and providing unique opportunities to accelerate sustainable development, and young people are the ones leading the adoption and development of new technologies, driving digital trends and innovation globally to create solutions. This unprecedented opportunity that digital technologies offer through the various tools like mobile devices, services, and artificial intelligence are instrumental in advancing the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, with profound impact across economic, social, and environmental dimensions. As the 2030 deadline for the SDGs approaches, the role of young people in digital innovation is essential for addressing global issues.
We are using technology to make life easier, whether it is in booking a doctor's appointment online, doing financial transactions, or learning from home. But to keep this progress going, we need a supportive environment that helps us overcome challenges. The government has recognized the potential of digital technology in youth development and is working to support it. However, we need to improve power supply, expand network coverage, and ensure the internet is safe for young people in order to fully actualize this goal.
The youths are also recognized as a positive force for development, which stakeholders say should be provided with the knowledge and opportunities they need to thrive.
My advice to Nigerian youth is to see the technology as a major tool to fight poverty. And the government is to create a policy.
The International Youth Day offers a chance to raise awareness of the potential of youths as partners in today's global society. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
And those are reports from Lagos for now. Nationwide will continue after this break.
Thank you for staying tuned to Nationwide. Recently, the Anambra state government launched Operation Farm to Feed, which encourages individuals to farm as part of measures to stem hunger in the state. Ngozi Okekearu reports that, or rather tries to find out, accessibility in the state government support by the residents.
The narrative that citizens should diversify to agriculture has been embraced by some residents of Anambra State. Government intervention is to ensure that a large number of citizens venture into farming. Mindful of the challenges associated with farming, the state government recently launched a program tagged Farm to Feed, an intervention program by the state government to provide seedlings and farm inputs.
Some other party leaders in some of the villages who were out to undermine the progressive agenda of this government diverted seedlings. So that made us to involve multiple stakeholders in the distribution approach.
What is the awareness level of the Farm to Feed among residents?
Our PG got us informed that there were seedlings for us to participate in this Farm to Feed campaign.
No, I heard it over the radio, but I didn't see it.
The seedlings are to be distributed at the local government level.
We also encourage the PGs, before these distributions are done, they will have to do some announcements in the villages, in the communities, that these things are about to be distributed.
The initiative is expected to yield results in the next 12 months. In Oka, Ngozi Okekaro, NTA News.
All right, let's join our Sokoto Network Center for more reports there on Nationwide. Asmao is already standing by.
Good evening and thank you for joining us here in Sokoto on Nationwide. So far, one dead body was recovered from a boat mishap on the River Rima along Undai axis in Wamako local government area of Sokoto State. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports that more than 15 passengers on board are still missing.
The sad incident occurred when the boat was conveying more than 30 persons, comprising men, women, children, and youth, to the opposite shore for their farming activities. Or realizing that the boat was overloaded, the peddler tries to maneuver it back ashore, but in a turn of events, it capsizes. 2 out of the 15 survivors share their ordeal.
I was supposed to abandon my son, who I carried on my shoulders, to save myself. We tried to rescue others, but there were too many people in the boat. And when the rescue boat arrived, we followed while others have already drowned in the water.
The Red Cross, special advisor to the governor on State Management Agency Nasir Garba, and officials of the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA responded by visiting the scene to profile data of the victims and to activate search and rescue operations in collaboration with local divers.
It's a flowing stream. Definitely some by now has gone far away from the site of the accident, but definitely we'll try as much as we can in order to rescue the dead or alive.
Deputy Governor Sokoto State Idris Mohammed Gobil, in company of the Secretary to Sokoto State Government Muhammad Bello Sifawa, and prominent politicians in the area, were on hand to sympathize with the victims and assured of government's necessary intervention.
We will sit down and discuss how we will purchase an automatic powered canoe to alleviate this kind of problem.
The community expressed concern over activities of tipper operators who often evacuate sand from the river and in the process making it deeper and dangerous to cross. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
Sokoto State Government is spending more than 400 million naira on the payment of monthly allowances and arrears of the State Community Guards Corps security outfit established to augment efforts of regular security forces in the fight against banditry. The Commissioner, Ministry for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Ibrahim Dedi Adore, dropped the hint at media briefing in Sokoto. Elhat Abdullahi reports.
2,500 young men were recruited and trained into the state-owned Community Guard Corps and posted to the 13 local government areas severely affected by activities of bandits. Already, divisional offices have been built and furnished in the local government areas to facilitate their operations. Given update on the entitlements due for the security outfit, Commissioner for Local Governments and Chieftaincy Affairs, Ibrahim Dedi Adare, disclosed that each is to receive 50,000 naira monthly allowances and a 4-month allowance arrears of 30,000 naira owed to government. Dedi Adare urged them to conduct themselves in line with the laws establishing them and collaborate with conventional security agencies in the discharge of their duty.
It is now giving them opportunity to serve their state. And again, they are to serve their communities. I think they should make use of this opportunity to be able to provide the needed services to our people. They should also try to show this kind of gesture and reciprocate it. And therefore, I will advise them to do their work diligently.
Sokoto State Government is planning to recruit more volunteers into the Corps to ensure protection of lives and property of people in the state. In Sokoto, Alhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And that is our package from Sokoto. We'll take a short break, and when we return, Nation continues in Maiduguri. Good evening.
Welcome to Maiduguri. Glad to have you join us. Borno State Government has allocated 1.2 billion naira annually to sponsor 100 students to study medicine and engineering in China, with each student to receive a monthly stipend of $200 throughout their studies. 3,000 indigenes who applied for this scholarship converged on Ramat Polytechnic for an aptitude test to select the final 100 candidates for the program. Pauline Kujavana's details.
As part of Governor Zulum's 25-year development plan, focusing on skilled manpower development, the Borno State government launched the China Scholarship Program portal last month, which attracted 3,000 applicants, necessitating this aptitude test to identify the final 100 students for the trip.
I never felt that I would go abroad to study medicine in China.
We appreciate the executive governor of Borno State toward prioritizing education.
To be honest, studying abroad is
It's a dream come true for me.
The screening process, chaired by Commissioner for Education, Science, Technology and Innovation, Lawan Abawa Kilbe, highlighted government's commitment to rebuilding the state through investment in human capital, saying, in addition to covering tuition of the 100 students, each of them will receive a monthly stipend of $200 for the duration of their studies.
His Excellency has directed that screening should be on merit. Borno State government has committed 4 billion on international scholarship this year alone.
Chairman of the Education Trust Fund, Dr. Maina Yomi, along with other screening committee members and officials from Ramat Polytechnic, emphasized the importance of the transparent selection process, utilizing an e-test to choose the final 100 students. The e-test, which delivered instant result, had identified the successful 100 candidates, and we are already contacted for necessary processes to embark on the life-changing educational journey in China. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tawhid Lakwaja says acquainting personnel with the requisite skills and tactics is a task that the Army will continue to hold in high esteem toward achieving overall success in the theater. The Chief of Army Staff, represented by the Theater Commander, Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai, Major General Waidi Shaibu, stated this while inaugurating a new training school building as well as an old one that was renovated. Abubakar Musa reports.
Inauguration of the new theatre training school building as well as the old one renovated is meant to serve as a testament of unwavering commitment to excellence and achievement in line with the Chief of Army Staff Command philosophy of transforming the Nigerian Army into a well-trained, equipped and highly effective force towards achieving its constitutional responsibilities within a joint environment. Addressing officers and troops on the front line, Theatre Commander Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai, Major General Waidi Shaibu said inauguration of the multi-million naira facilities represents a major investment in the future of Northeast operations, especially in degrading remnants of Boko Haram insurgents.
Training is central to troops being able to conduct their various operations.
The people's democracy is confident that to the partnership as good to work the people industry for ship at the
the operation was for that government election state is robust state right. Remain number 21 and state to of
It is from George for
led APC by APC as take the nation. This executives elections
we have party and I'm waiting for their report any moment from now. Officers in here yesterday, because anywhere there's explosion, there's likely to be a second one. So usually we move people away from that.
The national chairman of the party on inspection of the facility appealed to the federal government and security agencies to ensure that those behind the act face the consequences of their actions.
We are sure that they are getting the signal of Rivers people joining our party in preparation for the forthcoming local government election. And they want to undermine this good policy of the amiable governor of Rivers State.
We're not deterred in any way. We're only asking that the governor of Rivers State, he's been doing well, and he swore an oath to uphold the laws of this land, to defend life and property, and he's doing that.
The Rivers State Police Command has taken over security of the facility. In Port Harcourt, Osinachi Samuel, NTA News.
And that's it from here. Nationwide continues with Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you, Jenny. President Bola Tinubu congratulates Rena Wakama, the Tigers coach, on her recognition as the best coach of women's basketball at the Paris 2024 Olympics. The Niger women's basketball team, the Tigers, put up a spectacular performance at the Olympics, becoming the first African basketball team to play in the quarterfinals at the Olympic Games. President Tinubu states that the recognition of Miss Wakama, who is 32, by the International Basketball Federation further ascends her well-established leadership qualities and dedication to excellence. The president commends the team, the coach, and all those who played a part in the unprecedented feat at the Olympics, enjoining them not to relent or become crestfallen, but remain resilient and determined for greatness. President Tinubu affirms that winning trophies and medals is the ultimate goal in competitive sports, but nothing trumps the place of good sportsmanship, discipline, and sacrifice shown by all those who held the Nigerian flag at the Olympic Games. The president thanked the Nigerian contingent and wishes them success in their respective endeavors. And that concludes Nationwide. Thank you for your company. I'm Ruth Aguele. Bye.